In the first problem, it says list all congruent angles and write a proportion that relates the corresponding sides. So we are given a similarity statement. Triangle JKL is similar to triangle PMN. And I will... Alright, let's start listing out the angles. We don't need to look at the diagram at all in this particular problem. We can just start listing the angles. The first angle mentioned is angle J, and that will be congruent to the first angle listed in the second triangle, angle P. And then angle K is the second vertex listed in triangle JKL, and that's similar to triangle PMN. So angle M is the second one, angle L is the third one, angle N is the third one, and the second one. So those are the corresponding angles. So we know that the corresponding angles have to be congruent. And now let's make some ratios with the sides. So we have JK is the first side listed in the first triangle, and that matches up with PM in the second triangle. KL matches up with MN. And finally JL, because we go with the first and the last, matches up with PN. So we can write this as a proportion, just put equal signs in between them. Moving on. Let's list all the congruent angles. So I'm just going to write each of the angles of the first triangle. Angle X, angle Y, and angle Z. And I know that those will be congruent to angle R, angle Y, and angle S in the second triangle. And the proportion of the sides, okay, let me list out all the sides in the first triangle, X, Y, Z. So we have X, Y, Y, Z, and then X, Z. And those match up with RY, YS, and RS. And since they're proportional, I can set them equal to each other. Moving on to number 3. Alright, these are quadrilaterals. So there's 4 angles, angle J, angle K, angle L, and angle M. And because I wrote those in order from left to right, I can do the same with the second quadrilateral. Angle Q, angle R, angle S, and angle P. Okay, so let's match up the sides. We have, I'm going to list all the side lengths in JKLM first. JK, KL, LM, and then the first and last JM. And we'll do the same for QRSP. So QR, RS, SP, and QP. And all these will be proportional to each other, so we can put the equal sign in between. Oh, leave it up there for a second. Use similar figures to solve for missing measures. The 2 triangles below are similar. Complete the similarity statement. So we have triangle BCD, and that's similar to, now we have congruent angles. So I'm going to try to do this like this. And then that's also 76, so that's also congruent over there. And then the 28, I'll put 2 lines. This 28, I put 2 lines. All right, so that can help us. If we have BCD, let's match that up with triangle. B matches up with S, C matches up with R, and D matches up with T. But since R and S have the same measure and it's a triangle, we could also say that triangle BCD is similar to triangle. I could start with R, and then S, and then T. And those would also be similar to each other because they are isosceles triangles, and that matches up that way as well. All right, 2 polygons below are similar. QTSR, so Q has 2 lines, and then T has 2 lines, and then S and R each have 1 line. I'm going to match that up with FC, because both of those have 2 lines, just like Q and T. FC, and then DE. Those have 1 line each, just like S and R. But I could also go in a different direction. Instead of FC, I could say CF. Those are two arcs in each of those angles first, and then CFED. And that would work around clockwise. All right, excellent.